Welcome to our posts. Today we will see stories of r/malicious compliance. Maternity wear. This happened several years ago. After onboarding a new job, I was told I could hire an assistant. The HR director, Kelly, handed me a stack of resumes, told me about a friend's daughter, and bumped Kat to the top of my interview list. Kat passed the tech test with high scores and interviewed well, so I hired her. Kat showed up to work on time, had a good attitude, performed well on assignments, and was generally a pleasant person all around. After probation, Kat was excited to tell me that her last raise was enough to get an apartment with her boyfriend. It was a couple months after her raise I started to notice Kelly spending an inordinate amount of time talking to Kat. The convos sounded personal/cordial, and Kelly was friends with Kat's mom, so I didn't think much about it, until one day Kelly barges in my office. "Did you know Kat moved into an apartment with her boyfriend? I might have heard something about that." Well, Kat is pregnant and her mom is devastated. And proceeds to fill me in on the details on Kat's personal life. Uncomfortably, I interrupt, acting like I have a lot going on. This really isn't any of my business. If there's something related to Kat's performance that we need to discuss, please fill me in, but as for me, Kat is doing a great job. A few months pass. Kat's baby bump is starting to show. Kelly is again in my office. Kat is not in compliance with the dress code. Last staff meeting, Kelly handed out a dress code policy with a collage various women's shoes and dresses and suits, presumably cut from fashion magazines, to assist us determine what was acceptable from what was not. I picked up the policy and the clip art sheets with a stare reminiscent of Jack Nicholson's "I'm of a mind to make some mookie" Batman/Joker scene. Is she wearing something in the not allowed clippings? As I began to spread the clip art around my desk. She isn't wearing maternity clothes, as Kelly points to the bullet about maternity clothes in the policy. Well, the policy clearly says maternity wear is allowed. Kat is clearly pregnant and she is wearing clothes, so you know what I mean when I say maternity clothes. Clothes from a maternity store. I told Kelly that I would talk to Kat, which I did. Kat filled me in that there was some drama with her mom not liking her boyfriend, that Kelly is involved, etc., etc. I just told her to read the policy and be sure she complies, and no matter what, to trust me. I had her back. The next day Kelly is in my office telling me that Kat is again not in compliance with the dress code. At this point Kelly knows I'm getting frustrated. Okay. I'll talk to her again. This time I want you present because I'm going to give her a formal warning and assign remedial training. I bring Kat into my office with Kelly present and formally read off my prepared statement, making it clear that it will go into her permanent file. "Kat, you were given a verbal warning yesterday to comply with this dress code. Because it is not clear to me what is or is not a violation of this policy, you are to report to the HR office 10 minutes early every morning for the next 2 weeks for dress code inspection. Report to me if HR finds your dress unfit. If you are found to be in violation of this policy and are unable to correct your dress before the start of the workday, your employment will be terminated." By the time I'm finished, Kat is tearing up and Kelly is staring at the floor, speechless. I dismiss Kat. I hope that this is the last I hear about this, because if I do, I'll fire her, as Kelly, speechless, walks out of my office. I told Kat not to worry about any of this, we have them where we want them. So, for a week Kat reported to me that her clothes were fine per HR inspection. At the beginning of the second week she was chuckling. "Kelly told me that I look very nice today." Attitudes began to change and everyone was smiling. I got called to the red carpet by Jim, the CEO. He tried to keep a straight face as he recited what he heard was going on and asked me to cut the remedial training short because it was embarrassing the HR staff. Straight-faced I said, "Well, Jim, if I stop the remedial training, I'd have to fire Kat. Company policy clearly states that failure to complete a formal remediation plan is immediate termination. It is very clear, there is zero tolerance. You can't fire a pregnant woman for what she wears." I'm asking, no, I'm telling you to stop. Stop following company policy? Laughing he concedes okay. I am rescinding that ridiculous dress code policy effective immediately. Next story. I'll get the manager. Way back in the year 2000, I worked at a big box store with the yellow tag logo. I had been there for 18 months as a cashier. We recently got a new operations manager who came from computer sales and didn't really know the registers that well. This happened during his first week as manager. Me, okay sir, that will be dollar amount. Customer, fine, here. Tosses card onto the counter. Card declined. Me, sorry sir, your card declined. I can run it again or we can try another card if you'd like. Customer, run it again, I know there's over $1,000 on that card, it should work. Swipes card again, declined again. Me, sorry sir, it has declined again. Customer, it has to work, is there anything else you can do to approve it? Me, I can try to run it manually, but that will only help if your magnet strip is damaged. Customer, try that then. Manually enters details, declined again. Customer, there must be some way to force or bypass that, I know there is money on the card. Me, I'm sorry sir. If it's declined by the card company, there is nothing I can do. Customer, this is bullshit, I know there is money on that card. Get your manager now. Me, okay sir, just a moment. Manager approaches and stands behind the counter next to me. Manager, hello sir, how can I help you? Customer, your employee keeps declining my card and I know there is plenty of money on the card. You need to override it. Manager attempts to run the card, declined again. Manager, sorry sir, it was declined. Customer, I know that, you need to override it so I can take my stuff and go home. Manager turns 90 degrees to face me. Manager, it declined, is there anything we can do to override it? Me, no sir, that decline is from the card company. There is nothing else we can do. Manager turns 90 degrees back to angry customer. Manager, I'm sorry sir, I've spoken with one of our experts and he informs me there is nothing else we can do with this card. Would you like to sign up for our card and save 10% on your purchase today? Customer angrily stomps out of the store. Next story. Try to trick me into eating a radish under the guise that it's a carrot? Okay, I'll bite. Last night I come home and walk into the kitchen where my mother-in-law and wife are standing with an enormous bag of small carrot-shaped, white root vegetables. Exhausted from a long day, I absent-mindedly ask, are those white carrots, the existence of radishes, temporarily eluding my consciousness? My mother-in-law and wife, in enthusiastic unison, chime in that, yes, they are indeed carrots. Go ahead and try one, my mother-in-law encourages, with an overzealousness that brings me to my senses. No. No, these are not carrots. Game on, mama, game on. I will eat this raw root vegetable and get you to as well. I rinse one off and snack into it as my wife and mother-in-law attempt to stifle their giggles. I feign confusion at their reaction. What are y'all laughing about? My wife laughs, what's it taste like? A carrot, I say, maybe a little less sweet. You're lying, my mother-in-law shoots back. The lady who gave them to me said they're radishes. My face betrays nothing. I have crunched the pungent, peppery taste and melded it into an earnest mask of enjoyment. The sporadic laughter from my wife and mother-in-law has ceased. Well, I don't know who said that, but this definitely tastes like a carrot. Maybe I just got the one carrot mixed in with the radishes? I grab another, rinse it, and go to Chomp Town. Mid-chew I double down, nope, these are definitely carrots. My mother-in-law, exasperated that either I am a master of deception or that she in fact did get the wrong bag of veggies, rinses one off, takes a massive bite, and immediately spits it back out. It is now I who am laughing. But not a tepid giggle. An uproarious guffaw of triumph. I have one. Now to get the taste of radish out of my mouth. Next story. You want HR involved? Yep, you can have HR. This is a story of how hate blinds you. I work in radiology. About 15 plus years ago, I was working with a radiographer, X-ray tech, called Smith. Now Smith had recently received 2 official warning of duty. One for abusing the boss and one for abusing me. Smith was told to change their attitude and behave. Smith, however, went on a path of revenge that was endless. I was dying a death of 1,000 tiny paper cuts. Nothing terrible, but just lots of little things which I knew Smith had done, but I couldn't prove it. One Monday morning, one of the A&E doctors came over to complain about how poor the X-ray image quality was a couple nights ago. Smith goes over the roster board and sees my name corresponding to that shift. You worked afternoon shift by yourself. Smith charges into the boss's office demanding a full complaint process. Smith demands, since clearly the boss and I have it in for them, HR should run it independently. The boss tries to talk Smith out of it, but Smith basically say they don't trust the boss to deal with me fairly. The boss tells Smith he will hand it over, but be careful of what you ask for. Apparently Smith was in quite a lather and so excited that they had got me. 2 days later, I'm been interviewed by 2 HR guys and an independent chief radiographer from another hospital. We go through each of the images and I agree the work is really poor. It's clear no one has actually looked too carefully at the paperwork with the X-ray images. The HR guys finally asks, why did you such poor work? I reply I didn't, and if they bothered to look on the online pay system, I had called in sick that day. In fact, Smith had done the overtime shift. They looked stunned. I reminded them I expected the same process for Smith. I also lodged an official complaint about false allegations be made by Smith for this case. Apparently Smith tried to stick to the roster, but they showed Smith their pay slip plus that they had signed off on all the images. While HR was deciding what to do with Smith, fire them or not, Smith had 2 more incidents at work and was eventually fired. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel or posts.